I'm Jen Beeston. Today I want to talk to you about what is a short sale. So a short sale is when you sell your home for less than it's worth. So an example would be if your mortgage is $500,000, but you sell your home for $400,000, you're short selling your house, okay? The only way that would not be a short sale is if you wrote a $100,000 check to the bank so that they got their full $500,000 back, okay? So, gosh, I feel like it was less than 5 years ago, short sales were everywhere. And since then, a lot of people forgot what it is or don't know what it is. So here's what you need to know. As a buyer, if you're buying a house that is a short sale, you need to ask questions. The questions you want to ask are, number one, do you have short sale approval? So you can't just sell your house for less than you owe on it and expect everything to be like no extra strings attached. Your realtor is going to have to work with your bank to get them to accept the short sale. Your realtor has to negotiate with the bank for them to accept less than they're owed on the property, okay? So if you're buying a house and the bank doesn't even know about it yet, which happens a lot. What happens a lot is people put stakes in the yard, they see what the offers are that they get, and then they go to negotiate with the bank. You're not going to close in 30 days. No one really knows when you're going to close because the bank has to approve your short sale. I've seen it take 40 days to 6 months to a year to never, okay? So as a buyer, if the short sale is not already approved, okay, you're not going to want to lock your mortgage rate, and you're going to not want to give notice, and you're going to want to be realistic that, hey, this is like kind of a gamble, like it could work out, it could not. Because if you offer, let's say they owe 500 still and it's on the market for 4, and let's say you offer 425, okay? The bank may be like, no way, we just looked at the comps and this house is worth 5, so you need to pay 5, or they need to find someone to pay 5, or we'll foreclose. So it's not a guarantee you're going to get the price that you wrote the offer at, okay? Now, if the short sale is already approved, that's a totally different position. And I would say that happens less often than you would want it to. Basically, you'll see that if someone else was already in position to buy the house, but then they backed out, and the realtor had already started the negotiating process with the bank. That's when you might walk into a situation where the short sale is already approved. So in that situation, you're going to have a good timeline on closing, and it can be treated like a normal transaction. So if you're a seller, you need to be careful. So what you need to be careful about is scams. There's a lot of weirdness that can happen, and I'm using weirdness because that's like the most appropriate term I could come up with. So basically, there were so many scams in the past. Here's how it went. Oh, you can't make your payment. We totally understand. I have an investor, Bob, who is going to buy the house, short sell it to him at a discount, and then he's going to let you live there until you get back on your feet, and then he'll sell the house back to you. Yeah, no, Bob was never going to do that. I saw so many Bobs along the way who were buying these houses as short sales and then trying to sell it to another client before that even closed. And this person, you know, I had one where the guy who was going to buy it from Bob actually talked to this guy, and this guy was like, well, wait, Bob said I could stay here. And my client was like, no, dude, he's selling it. And he was like, what? Right, you don't want that to happen to you, so you need to go in eyes wide open. Here's the deal. If you're short selling your house, the odds of a magical investor coming along who are going to let you live there for free and then sell it back to you is 0. It's 0. Like, there are no... And look, if someone's a good Samaritan, knight in shining armor that wants to do this, let me know. Like, I would love to know who you are, because I certainly did not see you in 2009, 10, 11, or 12. So if you're going to be short selling your house, you have to understand you're really selling it, you're really moving, okay? And what you need to also understand is, are there any tax implications, okay? Before you agree to do a short sale, you need to meet with a tax advisor. I do not care what your realtor tells you. I do not care what your mortgage lender tells you. Talk to a tax advisor, okay? A lot of people misconstrued the rules in the past and they ended up with very big tax bills. You do not want that to happen to you, okay? The second thing is you also need to understand how long it's going to take you to get into another home. So with a conventional mortgage, right now the waiting period is 4 years after a short sale. With FHA, it is shorter. With VA, it is shorter, but you're gonna wanna know. So you don't want to think that you can short sell your house and then buy a house with FHA the next day, because it's not gonna happen, okay? There are some investors where if you have 20 to 30% saved for a new down payment, then they may give you a loan, like seriously the next day. But when you're going for the short sale and your realtor's negotiating for it, they're gonna want financial documents for you. You're gonna have to prove that you can't make the mortgage payment, because why else would they approve you selling it for less than you owe? You can't just sell it for less than you owe because you don't like it anymore. So there's a lot to it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I dealt with a ton of these back in the day, and we're starting to see a couple here and there. And I have to say that, you know, low down payments are great. I'm a huge fan of them. But if you're max qualifying, doing a low down payment and, you know, using 2 incomes and someone loses their income, you may end up being in a short sale position. So as we see lower down payments and as we see higher debt to incomes, this will come back into our world. Hopefully nothing like 2007, but if you're in trouble and you think you need to short sale, make sure you take the appropriate steps. Tax advisor, make sure you have a realtor that's done a short sale before, and make sure your financial documents show you can't make the payment, because if it shows you can, make the payment. Yeah. And if you're a buyer buying a short sale, just understand that unless the short sale is already approved, there's no real time frame. Okay? So I hope this has been helpful. I hope this doesn't happen to you. But if it does, I saw so many people that did short sales and have new homes now and their financial life's recovered, so it's not the end of the world. Just make sure you go about it right. Thanks.